You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
You don't know about the other side of the pyramid? The fifth side? It's called the floor, you dumbass. I just want to make sure he realizes there is a fifth side to the pyramid.
And once you open your fucking mind and learn to play the goddamn theremin.
I know all of them, and I believe none of them, which makes me an expert. Hello, everyone. This is Chris with
Quinn,
back with another Cryptid Conspiracy Cult episode. Today, we were going to tackle the Chupacabra, the goat sucker, the Mexican vampire, or a mangy dog, whichever part you think you're from.
it kind of goes all over the place.
It does. And what's fascinating about this, I found out, like during the research, I found out that there's two versions of the Chupacabra. There's the Puerto Rican version, and then there's the Mexican version, Tex-Mex version.
Yeah.
They have very similar, and what's really weird is it's fairly new. The Chupacabra is actually a fairly new cryptid. A first registered sighting that was considered, a real sighting was in 1995.
Really?
Yeah. So with that, going into that, there are rare, it does look kind of like a fish creature almost. If you type in Chupacabra and look at the image of him.
See, that's what I always kind of imagined. It was like a fish creature, or it looked kind of like a small vampire. Like goblin is what it kind of reminded me of.
So what happened was, we'll start with the Puerto Rican version first. Chupacabra, which means goat sucker in Spanish.
Yeah.
A long time ago, back in the early 70s, there was a handful of farms in the Oaxaca region of Mexico who said they saw a lot of their goats were attacked. And they believed it was a vampire, like a straight-up vampire. It wasn't until later, like I said, in the 90s, when the Chupacabra was actually sighted, that they attributed those attacks to the Chupacabra. It's kind of fascinating, really, because the Puerto Rican version, because it's an island, it was very... okay, we could find this thing really quickly, but the Texas version, there believes to be multiple Chupacabras. It's pretty fascinating.
Throughout that desert.
Yeah. And
it's kind of like New Mexico with the skinwalkers.
Yeah, like the skinwalkers. And what's weird about those is there's not much difference between the skinwalker and the Chupacabra, an unknown creature that attacks people.
See, but the skinwalkers, though, there's a lot more of a strange appeal to them, because in a way, they're shapeshifters. They look like people, but they also are mixed with animals. So it's like they kind of have to hide one side of that.
Mm. So going to the range of where people have seen the Chupacabra, it comes from all the way down from Chile in South America.
Really?
Yeah. So they believe they see a version of the Chupacabra all the way up to Maine.
Fucking Maine?
Yes, there have been reporting sites of that.
What does it have, like a fucking winter home there? It goes up there?
It gets lobster.
It gets lobster. They got the best lobster here.
It gets a bucket. It gets the copy of Carrie.
Kenny Bunkport Lobster is the best lobster.
It goes up and goes antiquing on the weekends.
Goes antique. It was on Antique Roadshow 3 times over. You don't remember those episodes? Of course not, because there's thousands of episodes. He's able to fucking slide into the pop culture.
All those old people look like Chupacabras holding a fucking doll from the fucking 1700s. It's got 2 souls in it.
I believe it. My offer. God damn, that shit's crazy.
25 cents in a fucking cinder block in a garbage bag.
25 cents in a cinder block in a garbage bag. This 25 cents is coming out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I'll pay for the fucking one bag.
You drive to the lake, though.
You drive to the lake. I ain't...
I remember hearing a story about it. A guy, he got his wife a creepy doll. Just like a fucked up looking baby doll with no clothes on. And it's got the head and eye caved in. And she threw it in the fucking trash. So what he did was he doused it in water and put it on the windowsill outside the fucking house because he was doing gutters one day.
There was a doll that was up as an antique that is supposedly an artist put his soul into. But this doll was supposedly haunted. He was forgot the artist's name. It was Robert something. He lived in Key West, Florida. And this doll, he spent so much time with it and energy into it, so to speak, that it's an evil version of himself because of a tragic event. There's like a whole.
Yeah, I remember hearing a story about.
I'm generalizing a lot.
Yeah, I
of
remember
this.
hearing a story about a little boy doll
And-
that was taken out of a house and somehow ended
That
up
was
back in the
his
house.
and it somehow got back into the house. So they built a certain type of cell around it in a way,
Yeah, like the
and now it
Annabelle doll.
it glares at people. They've seen it get up and walk, but that's been like the sightings. Like the hair has changed on the doll, and it keeps getting whiter.
Yeah, well, enlist that motherfucker in the military. Give him a job.
No, fuck that. That's the fucking black site project.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
one of-
Chupacabra.
That's something we'll probably be covering soon. Is the SCPs? It's one of those fucking
Yes.
things. Secure, contain,
I
protect.
Technically, they are cryptids
Yeah, like,
in a way.
No, it's a topas. Yeah, I love SCPs. Like if I'm bored and I want something to read real
Hell
quick,
yeah.
I'll just read. Like I love pulling out my birthday and reading the one that correlates with my birthday.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Then that's great entertainment.
No, yeah, like if you look up the year you're born, so like I would look up 89 and it'd be like it's like a book or some shit like that bleeds or some shit. Yeah, like it's so fucking hilarious. But back to the Chupacabra. So in Texas, there's a lot of people who believe that the Chupacabra isn't actually a creature. They believe it's a wild dog or coyote that is suffering from mange.
I remember seeing photos on Animal Planet about that. It looked a lot like, in a strange way, a Doberman, but like a Doberman dog mixed with like a wolf of some sort.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like anytime you look at a dog or like a pet or anything that's suffering from some type of skin condition, it does take it away from what it naturally looks like, and it can freak you out a little bit. A version of this is a buddy of mine had a bearded dragon, and it had a weird skin condition that it looked like. It was like flaking almost, but it looked like rock from a distance, and it looked like it had rocks growing on it almost. But like it was just a skin condition.
It had a lot of like skin built up, and so when
Yeah.
it would molt or when it would shed, it was
Yeah, they had to like use like a special brush and shit to.
oh
But
poor
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I used to handle these things back in fucking college because I worked for the science department. They had a giant
and
snake in a
I got the two back at the house.
Yeah, they had a bearded dragon and a snake, and they're like, "Hey, here's the gloves." He likes it when you wear the gloves because I had to clean his tank like twice a month, and like I'd pick him up, and he would just hook onto my fucking chest and not move while I picked up the tank, emptied it, and he just stayed the fuck on my chest the whole time.
Yep.
And I'm just like, "You little bastard, get the fuck off me!"
He's not trying to hurt you.
He's just hanging on for dear life.
He feels safe with you though. He
The
feels safe
snake,
enough.
though, that motherfucker would wrap around my wrist so fucking tight. It like I'd hold it by the head and it's just wrap and wrap and wrap all the way to the elbow because it was like a little boa, and I'm just like, God damn it, I can't work like this.
Please don't tighten.
And I'm like, I was a history major, so maybe in the science department made no fucking sense.
I don't know what these things are.
I got told I couldn't work in a regular office because I was a guy.
Guess what?
I was a guy. Like the lady who taught the humanities courses said it is more meant for like a woman. But I'm just like, that's fucking gender fucking hatred right there, you bigoted bitch.
Like right then and there, it's like, how do you like me now, though? Too.
Yeah. But yeah, so like going back to what I said is like in 1975 there was a series of livestock killings in the town of Mocha or Maca, and they attributed this in the beginning to like satanic panic, which is kind of funny because like when you think of Satanists, I don't think of Mexico because it's so just Catholic heavy. If you could just imagine seeing a bunch of goats that got killed, because I've seen a goat get killed before. It's fucking wild to watch, but a whole series of them is like, I always just assumed that like it was like a pack of dogs.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. Like it could be a pack of dogs
Or a bunch of fucking Metallica kids. No, it's 1975, so no, they'd be Rush fans.
Oh my god!
You prog rock loving motherfuckers.
Get the fuck away from me!
Yeah.
The band is amazing, but Getty's voice is terrible. You can't fucking deny that.
I was at a show one time. The guy was doing like, he's one of those guys who didn't play his guitar. He strummed his guitar, and he was singing like Tyler Childers songs and stuff like that. And he's like, he tried to do a fucking Rush song on acoustic, and he sounded like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Sounded like Gonzo fucking singing one of the songs. That's fucking hilarious. But actually, so the term Chupacabra actually comes from a radio DJ out of Puerto Rico. He was a comedian and DJ, and he had talked about the goat eater or goat sucker, but he said it all in Spanish, so it's Chupacabra, because cabra is goat in Spanish, and chupa is to suck. Chupa. I just think it's kind of funny, like that's how we get the fucking name. Chupacabra. Just suck it. That's basically a suck it goat.
The suck it goat.
Yeah. But like it kind of goes all the way out from Puerto Rico, all the way out to Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and even.
But it sounds like it's all in these different spots, but it doesn't sound like it's like a Bigfoot where it's like everybody has seen it to a degree where it's like, how can I put it? To a degree where you don't feel like most of the stories are falsified in some way, shape, or form.
Because I think it's because like Bigfoot doesn't like rampantly destroy livestock,
and it doesn't also appear at different time. There's not like a different sighting. All the sightings can happen at once.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're saying it happened in 1995, whereas other countries around that region,
20 years earlier, and I think that kind of creates like what we want it to be, kind of like a fearful creature outside of it. Yeah. So like we want it to be something kind of mythical, because if we find it, it's like, holy shit, I found it, But you're talking about the same part of the world where there are no apes, if you know what I'm saying. Like the genus of species, there is no apes in North and South America. Of all the other places in the world, in North and South America, there are no apes. So another form of creature would have to evolve to be superior. Like in sub-Saharan Africa, it's the lion. But once you get to the Sahara and in the Congo, it's the gorilla. So
once you get over to Central and South America, it's the dog.
Yeah, a lot of different versions of a dog. Your coyotes, your more almost like marsupial-based dogs, like a fox or something like that.
Yeah, they have that kind of that pattern to them in terms of their behavior. Yeah, and it's very different. Even their domesticated dogs have a different kind of temperament than ones you would find here.
Yeah, and the weird thing about like our dogs is there's in like just going into dogs real quick, the whole like genus of dogs is they've all been bred by the cultures they were in a certain way. So like you have your pit bulls, which came from Central Europe in France, and they brought them over here and they were bred a certain way, and now we have like the English bulldog, the French bulldog, stuff like that, the ones that can barely fucking breathe. Yeah. My buddy had one of those, and I'm just like, oh, get the fuck off me.
See, I like English bulldogs. Like, don't get me wrong, the bulldogs I think have kind of evolved from where they were, though.
There are some dogs though that kind of still keep that net, like a Malamute. Still looks like a husky wolf. Husky. Some chows actually, full-blooded chows look kind of weird. They're just like really fluffy, puffy dogs. Yes. But they're big. And then you have like bear mastiffs or Russian Osarkas.
Then you have shepherds.
Yeah, and like these are all versions. Now imagine those dogs, those same dogs, especially your big ones. Let's say a cane corso. Those motherfuckers that look like they should be in Fast and the Furious stealing cars. Like they look like they just fucking do push-ups all goddamn day.
They look like the dog character in the animated Fast and the Furious series.
Yeah, dude, one of the guys that did my tattoo, he had an American bulldog, and it was so like stocky that it couldn't like get on the couch, and they would just be like, "Come on, get on the couch, get on the couch." And he couldn't because he's just so fucking muscular. And they called him Toretto. From fucking Fast and Furious.
Oh my god.
He's like this muscle bound freak. But he'd be chilling in the shop watching you get tattooed.
One dog I would. But how does like the idea of a dog now? When did they start talking about the vampiric activity? Like,
so that was 1975. But a lot of the attacks were the victims of the attacks, the animals that were being attacked last time, they weren't being eaten, they were being drained. So that's where they thought, the whole satanic cult thing was. They were draining animals of their blood for some stupid fucking sacrifice or something. But as we know, all Satanists are in Arkansas. And they're all from West Memphis.
Oh my god, yeah.
Those guilty motherfuckers.
Those 3 kids that had nothing to
but they tend to attack lower livestock like goats, small calves, chickens are big. But when I think about that, I'm just thinking of like a coyote or something like that. And when they say drain of blood, all I can think of is maybe like a version of a bat rolled up on the carcass. after it died.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. I don't know if you've like done any study on bats or anything, but I got real big into it because of the movie Bats, the horror movie. But like,
See, I saw the birds. I never saw bats.
yeah, Bats had fucking Lou Diamond Phillips in it.
Oh, nice.
Super modified bats by the government to take down fucking Middle Eastern terrorists, and it's just like, this is before 9/11, and I watched that movie and I'm just like, the CGI bats are fucking terrifying because they're like it was the same plot line of Deep Blue Sea, but it was bats.
Oh God.
Super powerful, smart bats, and we can't let them escape. They'll mate and make super bats, and it's like, just let it happen. Just fucking let it happen.
We'll handle the super bats.
Yeah, we'll handle it. Let life find a way.
Let life find a way.
But Lou Diamond Phillips is like a sheriff, and he's like taking pop shots in the air at fucking giant bats. It's fucking hilarious. Check that movie out. It's a solid 5 out of 7.
That's like Phantoms with Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah, Phantoms. Yeah, that was a fucking movie.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good.
Yeah. So for a second there, I thought of The Phantom with Billy Zane.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you know, so the Chupacabra, that, you know, where they come in with like the vampire thing, and it's like it kind of debunks the whole if it's a dog thing, because if this creature is just sucking blood, there's no reason for it to like eat. But there's no dog, you know, canine species that just feeds on blood because it needs amino acids, just like we do. And it is kind of contradictory. Like some of these people are statements, kind of like if you pull up what people used to describe the Loch Ness Monster as, before some guys like, oh yeah, it's a plesiosaur. Before that, the people who were interviewed about Loch Ness Monster was, oh no, it's a giant ape creature, or it's a giant mermaid.
Yeah.
And then they're like, this one guy publishes his idea of what it is, and everybody's like, oh yeah, that guy's right. So it's just like this collective insanity.
Had to name drop my band there.
Yes. Oh, that's right. It is your band name. Collective Insanity.
You made the pun without even realizing you made the pun.
I'm very punny.
It just kind of works its way into my vernacular.
But yeah, so like there was a documented case back in 2010. A book was written about it, Tracking the Chupacabra. And it all comes from a person out of Puerto Rico, a Mr. Talentino, who said back in 1995, he had stated that an eyewitness account of seeing the Chupacabra, of a quadrupedic creature that could get on its hind legs, so potential to be bipedal like a Bigfoot, with smoother skin, no fur, if there was, is on the ridge of the back, and longer teeth, dark skin, possibly greenish skin, large eyes, yellow with red pupils, which basically just means there's a shine on the eyes, like you would like see a dog or a cat. Especially cats, they have reflective eyes, which is not good. I'm pretty sure cats are the devil. I have 5 of them at my parents' house. Anyone's welcome to have them.
Hey, the way I see it, they were the guardians of hell in some cultures.
Yeah, I think it's just because the Egyptians were just like, they couldn't tell them to flee fast enough. Get the fuck out of here. They worship them motherfuckers.
That's kind of like Greece with dogs.
Yeah. Greece has actually got a weird culture when it comes to some of their mythos, because they always put it with the mythology. Like, oh yeah, you know that guy with one eye, the Cyclops who fucking hoards sheep. No, it's Jerry, man. He lost his eye in a farming accident. He has sheep.
We do call him Jerry the Cyclops when he's not around, though. Yeah, just keep your voice.
And you hear him hearing, I hear you son of a bitch, Jupiter's cock. I'm gonna break your fucking neck. And it's like, oh, rattled old Jerry again.
Old Malacca Jerry.
Yeah, but like there are some other creatures, you know, that are similar to the Chupacabra, like the vampire itself. We had talked about it, I think off show, was how the CIA had used the threat of a vampire to help take over Indonesia after World War II. Did we talk about that? I can't remember. But anyway, it was part of the OSS before the CIA was the CIA.
Oh, yeah.
So they believe in something actually similar to the Chupacabra, which is a vampire type creature that uses its tongue instead of teeth. But when they describe it, it sounds a lot like a fucking Chupacabra. And this is, 1945.
Jesus.
And these people, they believed it as like a cultural thing. So it kind of goes back to our, Wendigo episode, where everyone has a version of the devil and it always has horns for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
that makes me think of their behavior reminds me of the one of the vampire clans, Kin and Soul Reaver. But there's like a whole, they actually are vampire creatures that feed off of that. So it makes me wonder if they had gotten that influence for that from these legends.
Most likely. Like, when we talk about cryptids, you know, we have our standard ones, your Loch Ness and Bigfoot. But I think what a lot of it stems to is, you know, trying to explain what you can't see that's in the woods or in the dark, you know. It's easy to say, oh, it's a coyote. It's just like, you would say it's a fucking coyote, wouldn't you? You unimaginative fuck.
Yep.
And I'm just, yes, because I don't have to imagine it. I know it's a coyote.
Yep.
But like, everyone else is like, you got that one fearful person who's probably religious as fuck is saying, no, that's a devil creature sitting here from hell. I'm just like, God damn it.
Yep.
It's like,
and then I also think about the other side of that, where a girl just picked up a coyote, taking it in, thinking it was a fucking stray dog, and the coyote.
That happens all the time out west.
That coyote looks so confused.
Yeah, have you ever seen that one where the woman picked up what she thought was a dog, and it was a California brown bear baby cub? It's like smiling and shit. It's got big fucking sharp teeth. It looks like a giant chocolate lab puppy. But I'm just like, it has paws like a hand. You picked up a abandoned brown bear cub and brought it to the vet, and the vet's like, yeah, why don't you just leave that cub here? Because you're probably marked now, and a fucking California brown bear is going to come up behind you, snap your spine in half, and eat you.
You just go to get a glass of water one night, and right behind you is fucking Yogi Bear.
Yeah. Oh, I love seeing those videos of people like this random bears just showing up at their house, and they're just like taking pans and like spoons. Get the fuck out of here!
So you gotta be. Or I remember the one where it was like a teacher in Appalachia. I think it was either North Carolina. Or it was like right over the border in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And this bear was climbed up to the back porch of her house because she was on the mountainside. So her whole back porch area was just at an angle, but a very decent spot.
Like it was dug into the mountain.
Yeah. But this bear had fucking climbed up to the back porch trying to get into the fucking trash can that was out there trying to get food.
Yeah.
And she opens the door and goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You better climb down. And he just like looks at her and goes, "Oh, fuck.
I like seeing the ones that are like in pools and shit.
Yeah.
That are going to people's like above ground pools and just like float around, and the cows are trying to get in it.
They'll hang out and sit there.
And you're just like, get the fuck out of my pool, you lazy piece of shit. Get a job. Get your own goddamn pool.
Yeah.
I think one of the funniest things I ever heard Joe Rogan talk about was what he thought who would win in a fight, a gorilla or a fucking Kodiak. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop talking about gorillas for one.
Maybe he is a gorilla. Yeah. Maybe he shaved. Maybe that's why he's so like.
That's why
hairless.
He doesn't have a neck.
That's why he's so hairless.
Yeah, he's a hairless gorilla who does P90X. It makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense.
A gorilla would be the only one that would allow the Proud Boys on his show.
Maybe that's why whenever it comes to Bigfoot, he's always dissuading it in a weird way.
Oh yeah, that's the great thing.
He's the link between ape and man. It's Joe Rogan. It's always been Joe Rogan.
The great hairless ape is the natural enemy of the Bigfoot. Long ago, in the time before time, in the long ago, in the before time, there was only Joe Rogan and the Bigfoot. And it's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, bro. I trade with gorillas.
You don't know shit about gorillas. I'd like to see you fucking try, man.
But like, that's one of those things. It's like, it's so Joe Rogan. You're just like, this is the fucking dumbest thing.
I've been eating mushrooms getting ready for this fight. I've been smoking fucking ayahuasca getting ready for this fight. Yeah.
So, out of all these allegations from, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and, a lot of your South American and Central American countries, there was a University of Michigan biologist named Barry O'Connor. So, a white guy.
Okay, of course.
He kind of concluded that the Chupacabra reports in the United States, not Puerto Rico or Mexico, but in the United States, that there were most likely a pack of coyotes that are infected with a bacteria that would cause them to molt their fur and not grow back, exposing their skin to direct sunlight, causing burns and scabs, and making them kind of more feral. Because anytime an animal, especially a wild animal, is injured, acts differently if it's suffered an injury. Bears do this. Kodiaks mainly up north in Canada, northern states like North Dakota, Montana, stuff like that. Bears who have been, probably someone take a pop shot at it, or it's been chased up a tree and was injured. As a process of hunting bears called dogging, where you let dogs chase a bear up a tree and then you kill it. But if a bear was to survive something like that, it would have a different action going forward, or for survival. So I think coyotes can kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a story about a Kodiak that took a shot to the head, and it was an arrow that had been stuck in it for so long that it had snapped, but it was an aluminum arrow that had bent and snapped, and it was just sticking out of its side. And people were trying to catch this bear to take the fucking arrow out, and it would just lead these people onto fucking chases in the middle of the woods and just circle back
and try to fucking take them out.
Yeah, because it thinks it's going to kill them. And it's no Coke bear, but
it's no, obviously fucking not. I wouldn't even want to go after that Kodiak. Fuck that.
Have you heard the story of the Coke bear? You've ever heard of the Coke bear?
No.
This is the best. It should get its own episode, but they're actually making a movie about it, I think. But there's a bear that was stuffed or killed and stuffed. There was an airdrop of cocaine. The bear ate the cocaine, and it became like an apex predator for 36 hours. And they finally had to put it down because it was just moving through the fucking in and out of the woods, communities and shit. And it was the same fucking bear. It's stuffed in a museum, and it has a pimp hat and a pimp chain. I'm not joking.
Poor bear.
He was high on coke the whole fucking time.
They at least paid respects to him. That bear knew what he was doing.
He looks like he's part of Biggie's crew.
If you look in the background, there's the bear.
Yeah. Just pawing up and shit. Throwing up, curling his little paws into fucking Crip, bro. But so I don't believe the Chupacabra is real. I believe it like the biologist said out of University of Michigan. I think it is mainly a pack of dogs that do this, but it is odd that they don't eat the animal. They're just sucking the blood out of it. So it is kind of weird to come across those kind of things. Much like all our conspiracies, we talk about, there's always the one or two pieces of evidence that don't line up with the rest of the story.
There's not enough to fill out the questions that somebody would have further than the base questions. I'd still be wondering what the fuck they are. I would want to find out. Yeah,
and it is pretty wild that a creature like this, even as back as 1995, is still so popular today. In southern Texas, Mexico, New Mexico, and Arizona, they still have this strong belief that chupacabras, roam at night to kill their livestock. And a lot of people have taken really odd measures. There was a show, I think on the History Channel of all fucking places, where it was people who hunted Bigfoots and stuff.
Oh yeah, searching for Bigfoot or
yeah. Well, they had done it they had done some other stuff on the side.
Bigfoot country, hunting Bigfoot.
Bigfoot fucked my wife.
Bigfoot fucked my wife.
Yeah.
Bigfoot fucked my plants.
Missing Link cuck story.
Missing Link, the cuck story.
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck? History Channel? You guys were about World War II. And
we got tired of talking about Hitler, okay? We wanted to branch out like the Honey Boo Boo people.
That's the dumbest branch out. Why not go to space, you fucking asshole?
I remember someone said the best thing about the Learning Channel, it only teaches you one lesson. It could be worse. You could be one of these fucking people on the TLC. Like the 600-pound life, Honey Boo Boo. Because I love watching those people fail. That's my jam. I know I'm evil as fuck, but I love watching
Jesus, Chris.
I was telling Alex and Cap one day, you remember the drug show? It was where people were addicted to drugs and they're just
Intervention.
Yeah, Intervention. I knew if the episode was more than 30 minutes long, that motherfucker relapsed.
Fucking Christ, bro, you're evil.
Karen was hooked on fucking Adderall and methamphetamine and graduated. It couldn't hold down a job. Got 2 kids. She got taken away from them. Her parents want to watch the kids now, and it's just they did an intervention for her. He's like, you stole my kid's bicycle for Christmas, blah blah blah. You stole my car, and blah blah. Hawked it for parts. You been arrested 14 times this year. All this, and I'm just thinking, relapse, you dumb bitch. Sharon's been fucking sober for 14 months. I'm just like, 15, she's gonna fail.
Oh my god.
This is you're talking to the same person who watches people cry on YouTube. So,
I must understand this.
yeah, well, you're making me sound like a fucking animal. I'm watching it to feel something.
I was picturing the Terminator from Terminator 2.
Oh yeah,
I know now why you cry.
And in the back of its mind is just like, this was a lie. I know how you lie now. His tear is actually just fucking sweat building up from the fucking magma that's gonna be overtaking him in like 2 seconds. The tear's not real. I like how you brought that up. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That scene made me so fucking sad just watching it because I'm like, no, dude, no.
I wish of all the drugs that are out there, I wish there was one drug you could take to make you forget one specific thing. I would love to take a drug to make me forget specific movies so I could watch those movies and have that same feeling I did when I watched it to begin with.
Same.
That is the ultimate drug right there. If anybody can put that in a bottle,
that's perfect.
That I can microdose in a bottle of vitamin water
and nasal spray even.
Just
all right, time to watch Terminator 2. I mean, I've never seen this movie before.
Yeah. Let me watch Terminator again just to be sure.
Let me just watch. No, I've never seen this.
Like the Predator, same way.
Rewatch the whole fucking Predator series,
and then take the drug and be like, yeah. But going into like some of the appearances that we've seen, there was a version of this in Australia, but it was determined it was a kangaroo that suffered a skin condition. So if you imagine a kangaroo with no fur coming at your ass, they're already terrible animals. They're giant rats, but like
they're giant rats with fists.
Yeah. I love watching old videos of people boxing them motherfuckers.
I still think of that famous video where the dog was getting attacked by him, and the fucking dude went, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And he jogs up
and starts fist fighting that motherfucker.
The kangaroo just stood up like, "What are you fucking gonna do about it?"
Yeah, because the kangaroo's got like fucking delts and quads and shit, and a fucking 8-pack.
He just fucking he does chin ups on fucking tree branches all day. That's all he does, and then fights things.
He does nothing but fucking cardio and shit.
Does nothing but hops every morning.
I love Australians just videos because they have the one of the dash cam that's on a helicopter and it's coming in low and you see these kangaroos coming out of the wood line running toward it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And he's like, and he's sticking his foot out of the helicopter, kicking one in the face. He's, you cunt! And it just like flies back up. Did you just fly a helicopter down just to kick a kangaroo in the face? This is why God hates that country.
Well, at the same time though, Australians have to deal with nature trying to fucking kill them every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like nature's not friendly to them, so they're like, nah, fuck it, we're not friendly to you assholes either.
Well, I was talking to Cap. His dad was over there, I think, in Australia, and he's talking about drop bears. The koalas that'll sit up in the trees and watch and then just fall on people and just beat them the fuck up.
Yep.
And just scratch their flesh off. I'm just like, I would not go to that goddamn country. Nah, I'm Sonny Landham from fucking Predator and just like chopping shit down, drinking its blood. You fucking taking a whole squad of guys who can't bleed and just like unloading on fucking nature. I know there were some people in Australia during that giant fire that was just like, dude, burn it all.
And you know what's making me laugh is they had the Great Emu War.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've been doing a lot of research on that.
That shit is the funniest fucking thing.
And
machine guns and all.
Yeah, like all the emus that you could find. Yeah, just like the British are like, we're over fucking run.
Mother of God, we're going to lose Australia.
They're going to lose to fucking flightless birds who can kick us in the chest.
I'm just picturing a fuking action movie being based on
Well, they're making a movie about the Great Emu War.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's going to be like a history-based movie. But
that's fine.
But like, I would love it to be a comedy.
It has to be.
Like a buddy soldier comedy.
I see Steve Coogan in it.
Yeah, Steve Coogan.
And Jim Jeffries.
No, not Jim Jeffries. Steve Coogan and Tom Hardy.
Oh my God!
Just tried to like Tom Hardy's the funny one.
Yes. Steve Coogan is.
He tries to fucking use Taekwondo on it or something and just fights it.
Alright, I'm kicking his ass.
I'm kicking his ass. Hey, it's better emus than fucking cassowaries. You ever seen a cassowary?
So
I got in a conversation about cassowaries in West Virginia. This guy
We have veered so fucking off course.
There's not much to actually talk about the chupacabra except
No.
for the fact that it's been seen in Mexico and shit. But this kind of goes into like the real dangers compared to a fake danger like a chupacabra. Like a real thing is an emu. An emu is fucking scary.
And a kangaroo, too.
Yeah, a kangaroo. But a cassowary.
What? Let me see a picture of it. How do you spell it?
Cassawary. But
Cassary. Okay.
But a cassowary is a flightless bird with 2 legs. It looks similar to an emu, but like,
Oh my god, that thing descended from a dinosaur.
yeah,
That thing is that is a look. It even hardened like it's a fucking scale. It's like a bird.
yeah.
with
So
like
that
a-
right there. So if anybody go online and just type in cassowary, you'll be looking at the same image we're looking at. So a cassowary is a real fucking cryptid.
Dude,
Like, that is a real monster.
That's a fucking raptor. That's what that shit is.
So funny thing, you said that. It does have a claw in its middle toe.
Yeah, that's the same thing with the emus and ostriches as well.
Yeah. So the thing about a cassowary is its ears are inside of its skull. So its hearing is actually very good, unlike some birds who can't hear for shit. It can hear you within 25 feet, but it can also they've tested it out to where the cassowary can hear a heartbeat if it's close enough to you. And it has a bill that's made of bone on the top of its head that it uses to slam into things. But it also has a giant middle toe that a cassowary, unlike an emu, can actually kick you in the chest. An emu has to jump up on both legs and kick. This one can stand there and kick you with its one leg. And the claw is depending on the cassowary, is sharp enough to go through the human sternum. Go right fucking through it like a knife. And imagine a cassowary war. Emu war sounds pretty fucking easy.
Because it sounds like they're going to be stupid.
Yeah.
They are stupid birds.
But a cassowary is basically a fucking dinosaur.
A dinosaur, but it reminds me of like it has the killer instincts of a predator. It
Yeah.
just stalks.
Yeah.
It waits.
Now going back to the chupacabra real quick, like, what do you think the repercussions would be if it was real? Or do you believe the chupacabra is real?
I mean, I feel like there's species all over the world that we don't fully understand. I feel like it could be something of evolutionary trait or a change in diet where it was kind of like they had to realize where else they were going to get the nutrients from in terms of animals, because they could have been dealing with malnourished animals around that time. I'm not sure the state of the areas during that time, but it seems like they're rampant like packs of dogs, but they've been dispersed across different areas.
And like other cultures have versions of this that are very similar. In the Philippines, there's a thing called a sigbin.
Oh yeah, I remember the sigbin.
Yeah, it's very similar to the chupacabra. There's the Ozark howler, which is a bear-like creature that is kind of a vampire, I guess. But it's like, if it's a bear, it's just going to eat you. Like it's just like it's.
Why is it going to drink your blood? It's hungry.
Yeah, it's not from fucking Eastern Europe. Like
Think you find a bear with an AK-47? Das Vidonia.
yeah, and like I heard, I haven't gotten much research on it. There's a thing called a grunches out of New Orleans.
So like the Grinch?
Yep, but it's like a creature that was spotted on Grunch Road in New Orleans, and it's like similar to a chupacabra. And I'm just like, these guys were drunk.
That was that goddamn chupacabra.
They were drunk and saw a kid in a Halloween costume and like, look at it, let's kill it. They're just like, oh, God damn it. A lost kid during Halloween.
You're digging the fucking hole. I'm not digging that
Goddamn hole.
goddamn. There's an unsolved homicide that happened on that
Yeah.
road, I'm telling you. And it was around the same time they saw the Gruncher.
Meanwhile, one guy who's half-assed sober is like, we're in New Orleans, man, let's just jump him in the Pontchartrain.
Oh my god. You got nothing better to do.
But I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think if there was a movie with a chupacabra. I can't really think of.
No.
And I'm looking at the pop culture right here. South Park had a version of the chupacabra called Jubacabra.
Oh yeah, that's what Cartman was coming up with.
Yeah, the Jubacabra, anti-Semitic Easter killer. But no, there's never really been a story about a chupacabra in like movies. Now, I remember the X-Files had an episode about a chupacabra.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
had to. Still the best and most recognizable theme to any show ever.
I don't know. The best one is Cops. Cops.
Bad boys, what you go? What you go?
You gotta think of the bass line. No. It's like, what a song. It's a Rastafarian singing this about fucking the police. And it's just like, this is the song y'all chose about cops.
Go figure. I mean, that show is under a lot of controversy. You want to go through, like, that's kind of a conspiracy in terms of, like, the shit that they supposedly haven't done.
Cops can cure racism.
Cops, I'll give the producers one thing. Those motherfuckers knew how to skirt around any sort of involvement in court.
Yeah. And I will say that their cameramen, goddamn Olympic athletes.
Dude,
They called up with every PCP crack smoking idiot that fucking
There was only a couple of times they didn't.
Yeah. And you know that one guy being chased by a cop's cameraman is like, fuck. Like, this, I can outrun this fat Dade County sheriff, but I can't outrun this cameraman.
Who's also a cop.
Yeah.
That's the shitty thing. It's like the guy who's holding the camera as a cop.
Yeah, just like, dun-dun-dun-dun. I'm just like, hear this song, bad boys.
You know,
You gotta do that. We gotta do a cryptid version of that with cryptids.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Or we'll use the Gunpowder Gray song, Straight to Hell. That'll be our theme song, Straight to Hell.
Gotta have a couple of shotgun blasts.
Yeah, boom. Oh, and the ending song would just be for some reason this is coming across my mind. It's fucking Paper Planes by fucking.
Oh, of course. That would be perfect by MIA.
Yeah,
Yes.
fucking
Yes.
MIA.
We'll, if it's an episode about conspiracies, we'll do fucking Bad Girls by MIA. We gotta play that for like a conspiracy that's headed by like a cult or something that was headed by a woman, because I don't really hear about a lot of cults that are actually led by women, which is shocking to me.
We'll actually be covering one.
I feel like it would be
there's
equal.
There's one on our list. The Wild Wild Country cult, Man on Sheila, who I'm a fan of. The cult of Osho, which is weird, wild story, and we'll be probably doing an episode about that soon. But they came to America to live the American dream, and it went south real quick to where they bought guns and may have created a biological weapon.
Oh, were you talking about the same people that were did the anthrax?
Nah,
different.
Yeah,
different
this is back in the 80s, baby.
Okay, this was in
They
the
had
90s.
the guy that created the guy that created Nike was going against them and shit, and it's like,
Oh, I never knew about this.
oh yeah, it's a fun story. But going back to the Chupacabra, I know we're talking about cassowaries, kangaroos, and the hellscape that is Australia.
That we kind of branched over in Japan too.
Yeah, but that goes into like what we talked about during our Bigfoot episode a while back was the different versions of the same creature. So like Bigfoot, you had the Sasquatch, you had the Yeti,
the skunk ape.
Yeah, and in Russia, they actually have like provisions in place in case Sasquatch does exist, to where they don't kill it. Like that is a thing for them. That is an actual thing in the Russian culture over there. Is like, we will not kill the Bigfoot. If anything, we will bring it in and capture it at all costs
and learn about it. And
yeah, because they believe the Bigfoot is intelligent and can like speak. So it is a dish, you know, and I think it's because their entanglements with Indians in India, who believe in the Yeti, especially the ones in northern India in the Nepali mountains,
of course,
where like, you know,
the Sherpas, especially the people that'll lead you up Everest, have a lot of stories about them.
Yeah, and they have versions of this in the Yeti in the Ural Mountains. Kind of like a go-to was the Dyatlov Pass incident, which they believed was a Yeti in some conspiracies. In other words, I think it was an avalanche. But
yeah, if there was an actual Yeti, I feel like there would be chunks of them, not their whole bodies.
Yeah,
with just blood coming out of one spot.
Maybe they'd suck the blood out of them.
It's a blood-sucking Yeti. It's a Strighetti.
Yeah, it's a Strighetti. That sounds like
that's the Italian version that lives in the Alps outside of Naples.
Nah, he lives in Little Italy in fucking Boston.
That's the Americanized one. He's the one that's buying espresso.
But yeah, like going into it, I know there's not a lot of information about the Chupacabra, other than it is a goat eater, or goat sucker, It is kind of a comic-y kind of cryptid, don't you think? Like
with a name like Goat Sucker, I feel like that's a fucking like insult to somebody.
And I think but that's kind of funny. That like if you hear something in another language, it sounds exotic, but when you translate it, it's just it's fucking stupid.
Well, it's kind of like one of the towns in the first Red Dead Redemption game that I really liked, Chuparosa. Chupa, suck, rosa, rose, rose sucker.
Rose sucker.
That was a friend of mine. A friend of mine named Christian. He was his family originally came from Peru. They immigrated back in the late '80s, early '90s. And his father started a business.
Did he know how to make crack cocaine?
No. It's the Peruvians, no.
Oh, did he know how to make cocaine?
No. But Christian actually translated a lot of the stuff for me because I couldn't really speak Spanish. I was learning a lot of how to speak Spanish because of him.
You speak Mick Irish wop.
You fucking bring that shit into my bar again, you're dead. You understand me?
I
didn't know I was sitting across from Bill the fucking Butcher. Just tapping your eye with the fucking butter knife. You see this? I lost it for my country.
You lost that in a bar fight in a bathroom.
I was there.
It was a war. It was a Tuesday in Boston.
It was a Tuesday in Boston. You were drunk and fighting the gang that housed us.
Yeah. But out of all the cryptids, I think I kind of treat this one as a lesser one. I know we'll be doing the Jersey Devil soon,
of course.
which is. Do you know much about the Jersey Devil?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Go figure. It's right there.
Like I remember growing up, we had never had any cryptids like locally. We would always joke about snipe hunting.
Well, there wasn't anything on Long Island either, too.
Yeah.
Like we never really had anything. A lot of the urban legend, a lot of the cryptid type of stuff was just ghost stories.
Yeah.
Which, thinking about that area, I feel like there might be at least one, very seldom, one existence of a true paranormal presence.
And I think that'll be a great thing to go over, especially ghost stories, especially of Appalachian mountains.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of weird stories come out of the Appalachian Mountains.
I suppose when it comes to like a lot of these cryptids, Chupacabra included, it's based off of the region that they originate from and an explanation for something that we don't understand. I mean, it kind of goes back to when we were talking. Did we talk about aliens in like the first couple of episodes? I know.
Yeah, well, like we bring up aliens with the West Virginia.
Well, I was saying like the floating cities concept that we kind of
okay.
touched on briefly in the first episode.
Yeah, when you like
the interpretations for UFOs or
Yeah.
things that it's always in every religion. It's kind of the same general idea. It's an explanation for something that people at that time could not understand.
Yeah.
And justifying an ends to a means depending on what was happening.
I was talking to a guy at work because we have to take long drives during work, and we got on the idea. He's just straight up asked. He's like, "Man, I gotta ask. Do you believe in aliens?" I said, "Yeah, because if they're not real, it's terrifying. It's terrifying that they're real if they are, but it's even more terrifying if they're not real.
Because oh my God, are we alone?
Yes, we are definitely alone. This all disappears when I die. But
Well, I already knew that part. That I came to comfort with. But damn, man, there's nothing else to experience.
yeah,
or
nothing
explore?
else, man. This is it, man. Once you're gone, you're gone.
9 planets? Really? That's all we got?
8.
8 now.
Pluto's not a planet. Neil deGrasse Tyson
No,
said so.
they said it was back.
What?
Yeah, it's
They told that motherfucker to shut up and make Pluto a planet again.
Pluto's been a planet for a while.
Oh shit! I haven't been up with. I've been watching a lot of space stuff regarding like William Shatner.
Oh, of course.
And his little rant. I don't know if you read his rant about coming back from space. Now he's super depressed. Like he's going to kill himself probably. Like,
No wonder why he's doing that show on Netflix.
Yeah,
the Unsolved Mysteries and
Yeah.
like.
I'm waiting for like. Going into current events, I don't know if anybody's whoever's listening to this, but I had read quite a few articles about advertising in subspace above planet Earth, suborbital satellites that will show advertisements in the sky. Have you seen this?
No.
Yeah, it's a plan to show ads in the sky.
Why? At what point? What the fuck? You think an astronaut at some point is thinking, "Oh, I hope this whole fucking thing doesn't blow up while I'm trying to eject myself out of the Earth's atmosphere." Is gonna go, "Oh, that's right. I should pick up fucking razors when I go home." Like,
But they'd be visible on the ground. Like, we
Man,
would see.
I don't need to see that shit. See, there'd be so many fucking complaints. Like, bro, it's 4:00 in the fucking morning. Why am I seeing a condom ad? It's a Wednesday. Who am I fucking?
Yeah.
My wife's tired. My kids are fucking.
Nah,
up.
you won't be seeing those. You'll be seeing like Citibank and fucking Freddie Mae and Fannie Mae.
Look, there's the people that ripped me off, honey.
Yeah, and now they're your god.
This is like the ANCAP utopia.
But you see what they've been doing with drones lately. They kind of outsourced fireworks and just using drones.
And Metal Gear Solid was the game that predicted the use of drones. I will say that, and I'll stand by that shit.
Yeah, but did they predict Coca-Cola ads above Nebraska?
I know they predicted AI becoming much more advanced and hyper aware, where it doesn't really like us; it just knows ways to brainwash us.
Yeah. But other creatures, if I remember, the Jersey Devil is similar to a Chupacabra, except the Jersey Devil has like a tail.
In a way, yes, it does. It has been known to drink blood, but it's also been known to just mutilate things, destroy things, and eat like chunks of the animal. So it's obviously, a carnivore.
I'm pretty sure it's probably just a koala, just running around New Jersey.
The wings thing is what gets me, and there's a documentary that even remember one of the filmmakers saw something and they cut the cameras off. She wouldn't talk the rest of the time. She never did anything after that. She was petrified of the fucking thing.
Yeah, and that's one thing, we don't get a lot of human victims.
Yeah.
About the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra actually just animals. It strikes quick and just leaves. But we don't have much footage. We have descriptions. We don't want it is one of the lesser cryptids in my opinion. But it's still, when you say Chupacabra, people know what the fuck you're talking about.
Of course, yeah. I just wonder what version pops into their head.
Yeah. Mine's always the Venture Brothers one. Where it's just like he's just beating one to death and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck is it? Chupacabra. Goddamn place is littered with them. And he talks about it like it's a fucking like it's a rat or a pig.
Oh yeah, like it's common, like they live in a whole fucking cave and shit, and they come out. Yeah, I could see it though.
Yeah. Well, folks, thanks for listening to our episode of the Chupacabra. We will be coming back with more cryptids, conspiracies, and cults. Maybe the Charles Manson family, which should be the Tex Watson family.
Yeah, his Tex actually kind of did everything.
Yeah. He did P90X.
He did P90X.
He didn't take the fucking
His
drugs.
best friend was a gorilla.
Yes. I'm just picturing like a Clint Eastwood orangutan type situation with Tex Watson.
Tex Watson
Driving to the Tate and LaBianca house and killing him, and just like orangutan giving him a thumbs up.
What would the gorilla's name be? I vote Tank. Tex and Tank.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be back. Let us know in the Discord what conspiracies you have. We'd love to have anyone else on the show as a guest. We will be continuing our war on drugs scene with your crystal meths and PCPs and DARE.
You'll also probably figure out why there's no war on education, the war on homelessness.
The war on education was No Child Left Behind.
All right,
and we left behind those motherfuckers to prison.
And now the prison. God damn, this just falls down another rabbit hole.
Well, folks, this is the Cryptic Conspiracy Cult. Thank you for listening to our rants that would probably get us arrested.
Yeah.
Well, at least me. Quinn has plausible deniability. He can say, I got a family.
I got 9 kids.